Now, one thing I'm not gonna do anymore is check my phone until I'm... This is just so helpful. Last week, I picked up my phone 340 times a day, 5 hours and 15 minutes. I try to do this every night. What I do is... What's going on, guys? It's Perna here, and today's video is all about habits. So I'm gonna talk about 5 habits that I'm gonna try and continue for this year, as well as 5 habits that I'm gonna try and develop and work on. So obviously, start of the year, it is a good time to try and develop some new habits. Get a New Year's resolution and then completely give up on it, and that's what most people do. But I strongly advise you guys not to do that. So use this time now, it's already like, what, mid-Jan? So use this time to try and do something new. Even if you started the year off a little bit weird and slow, use it to start the new habits. So to be honest with you, I actually haven't even started these new habits yet because I've been waiting for this video. So I'm off to a slow start, but there's still hope for us all. So before we get into the video, guys, I do want to plug my own coaching program because I have a 12-week transformation challenge going on right now. So basically, for the next week, I'll be taking sign-ups. You can sign up, it's $119 for the entire 12 weeks. You get a diet plan, you get a workout program, everything you need to make a transformation, do something great. Whether it's in the gym workouts, home workouts, whatever you need, we've got it covered. And then you will submit a before photo, then you'll 12 weeks later submit your after photo. And the winners, there's a few prizes up for grabs. There's actually really good prizes. The winner will come down, fly here, all expenses paid, train with me. And there's also Gymshark EHP Lab. Bear, shut up, please. Gymshark EHP Lab stacks up for grabs, the work. So it's really exciting, guys. If you want a kickstart to the year, link is in the description. Hold yourself accountable and I will keep you accountable as well. So that is it, plug is done. Now let's start with the 5 current habits that I want to maintain. The first habit is my morning routine. Every morning I do the same thing. I wake up, do the Wim Hof breathing exercise, jump in a cold shower, and then read for around 30 minutes. So I found that when I wake up, whatever I do in that first, say, hour, basically sets me up for the day. So starting with something that I really don't want to do, which is the breathing. I don't really like to do that. I mean, I feel great after it. I feel awake after it, but I don't want to do it.
This exercise goes as follows. Lie down, I got a belly, I got a chest, I got my head. Belly, chest, head. Belly, chest, head. That's the way it goes, like this. Fully in. Letting go.
So starting with something that I don't want to do is kind of a good kick to go, okay, let's do something.
Don't do this in a swimming pool.
Then I get a bit of satisfaction out of that because I've done something that I didn't really want to do. Then getting the cold shower is like another thing that I really do not want to do, but I just think just keep going, just push it. So once I've kind of done that, I've already done 2 things that I didn't want to do. That is actually powerful, simple, but it's very powerful because you've already pushed yourself a little bit. You don't feel like a lazy sack of shit, I guess, in layman's terms. Then I'll actually start exercising my head. That sounded funny in my head.
Within the head.
Then the reading is a different thing altogether. So reading for me is both relaxing and also like mentally stimulating. Because I'm waking up on my own terms and I'm kind of sitting there taking something in. I'm not worrying about the day or what I have to do or anything else. It's just, I'm just learning about something, maybe a different way of thinking. Nobody's bothering me. It's kind of my own time. And no matter what time it is, if I had to be somewhere, like I know you guys are probably thinking, easy for you to say, you didn't even have to get out of bed. And technically I don't. I mean, nobody's forced me to get out of bed. I can work from home. So, but that's beside the point. If I had to be somewhere, I would do this earlier. I guarantee, I promise you guys, I would just do this earlier. I would take 1 hour, an extra hour that I'd need and push my schedule back. So usually if I had to wake up at 6, I'd wake up at 5 so I could do this and read because I guarantee it sets me up for the day. I'm in so much of a better mood for the whole day and my productivity is better when I have my morning routine in place. If I don't, I feel off. Something feels weird. I might be more snappy. I might be a bit more thinking about the negative stuff. So trust me, a morning routine will make the biggest difference. I have actually made a video on the top 10 books that I would recommend you guys to read. You can check it out. Can I still do that with this? Shit, I'm the worst YouTuber ever. You can probably check it out there. But otherwise, some current ones that I'm reading / just read. So I do all the reading on the iPad because Apple Books, it's so easy. You can just buy and read immediately. So I just finished The Courage to be Disliked. Thought that was awesome. If you guys haven't read that, that's cool. It's a philosophical book, a little bit different, but really good. And another one that was awesome was Deep Work. That goes with today's video too. So that's about productivity and how to actually just get shit done. So definitely read Deep Work. Another one is Deep Throat. No, that's not really, I'm kidding. Another one is that I'm reading now is The Parasitic Mind by Gad Sad, if that's, you say his name. And that's kind of a little bit different. I like to read books that are both kind of confirming what I like to read, so like Stoic stuff and, you know, philosophy, and then also ones that is very different from the stuff that I would usually read, which is like that one. It's talking about more like modern day issues and all that kind of stuff. So I think it's good for just diversity and just have a bit of perspective in your life and not always reading the same kind of thing and listening to the same people. Always change it up. Really, really recommend it. I could talk about reading all day. It'd be boring as shit, but I could. The next habit is consistent daily cardio, either outside or just on the treadmill. So it doesn't matter if I'm in a fat loss phase or a muscle building phase, I want to keep in my cardio purely because I feel amazing. If I get up, do my routine, go down and do cardio, I just feel on top of the world. So for me, I will do some kind of, like I'd say it's low intensity, but like look at me, I'm sweating like crazy. So I just do walking on the treadmill and just crank up the incline for about 30 minutes. I feel like every day if I do a minimum of 20, I'm happy. Otherwise, if I'm not feeling it, I'll just go outside and get some fresh air. Sometimes a combination of both, but I really notice a difference in my mood. I'm much more energized as well. I will be really tired if I don't do any exercise in the morning. It's weird. The endorphins just peak and you feel like you have this second wind of energy. So for me, it's not about fat loss or fitness. I mean, it helps, obviously it helps, but it's more just about overall feeling of just well-being. So I'll keep it in. Obviously, if you're in a fat loss phase, perfect. If you're in a muscle building phase, you might need to increase your food, but if you can't eat anymore, then obviously you don't have to do any cardio. And I would highly recommend this to you guys if you have a sedentary lifestyle like me. I mean, my job's in fitness, but basically I have an office job in terms of how much I'm actually moving around, so I need this every single day. And one thing that I have to do every day is plan the day ahead. Now I do this to make sure that I'm utilizing my time well enough, and also just for the satisfaction of knowing that I did the things that I set out to do. So planning the day has always been huge for me because as someone who overthinks things and really has a lot of things going on, if I don't plan my day, I'll waste all the time. So a few things that help me is literally the app Things. That's really good, especially just for checklists and getting things done. Another one is Trello. If you have a few projects on the go that you want to organize, maybe you have other people as part of those, that's really good too. And sometimes I just use notes. I just quickly write down everything I want to get done, then I'll order it, and be realistic with your time. So don't say I'm gonna get everything done in one day because then you feel like shit. So one thing I do is go, okay, what am I gonna do in the morning? When do I work best? So for me and Joel are literally just talking about this right now. We both like to get the admin stuff done first thing in the morning. So emails will be morning, maybe something I really don't want to do. That's first thing. And then as the day progresses, you figure out when you want to do the other ones. I will be spontaneous and do things, but I always like to have a rough plan of the day ahead. Now, one habit you might not guess I'd want to continue is daily meditation. Now, usually I just meditate in my room and I will just sit there and do this for 4 hours. No, really. I will do it for 10 minutes. Usually now it's 10 minutes. This is just so helpful. It's one of those things where I didn't realize how much it was benefiting me until I stopped doing it for 2 days. And I was like snapping and everything. I was just being a shit human to be around. So it's hard to start. It's one of those things that's difficult to get into because you think, am I even doing this right? But if you keep at it, it's really good. I'm still so shit at it. Like really, I'll start and then I'll just go think about, okay, what am I gonna have for lunch tomorrow? And then I'm like, damn it, where am I? And I've lost it. Sometimes I fall asleep. I'm not good at it, but it helps me so much. So a couple of good apps. If you've done Calm's a really good app. I like that. I also downloaded 10% Happier and I bought that because I read the book and that was really good. I like the guy and he has really good guided meditation instructors on there. I think they work well for me. If you get somebody with an annoying voice on there, literally, it's gonna frustrate the shit out of you. I was using Calm, and I'm not gonna say who it was, but this one lady had the most annoying voice and I was like trying to just sit there and relax. I'm thinking, somebody annoying just in your ear, like so close. Anyway, so that for me has been really, really good. Just for overall well-being, my ability to deal with stress and workload and anything like that. Also just general happiness and just enjoying life is much better when I've got a practice like that in there. 10 minutes a day, I feel like is my bare minimum. If I can do more, I really want to get that up to like 20 and then 30. I think anything above 30 and I will just start to shave my head and become a monk because that's a next level step. But the commitment to do 10 or 20 is like, that's where I want to stick to. So like I said, that really benefits me, and the hardest thing is just keeping it going. One thing that 10% Happier taught me is, like you said, if you miss one day, it doesn't matter. What you want to do is just meditate most days. So what a lot of people do is they go, yeah, I'm doing this every day. And this goes for all habits. Like, yeah, every day I'm doing this, every day. They miss one day, 2 days maybe. they feel so shit that they go, okay, I'm not doing that anymore because they don't want to start up again. It's like they have to confront that they missed a day. So if you think, oh yeah, I meditate most days, if you miss a day, you actually don't care because you think, I've done 4 this week. So that's been really helpful for me. Just that mentality of if you miss a day, 2 days, who cares? Because you do it most days. You don't need to put that pressure on yourself to do it literally every single day. So next one. The last habit that I want to keep up is my evening routine of reflection and reading. Every night, I try to do this every night. Sometimes I miss some, but what I do is I journal write. I know it sounds weird, but it's not like your typical Dear Diary, this happened to me today and I'm gonna collapse. It's more like literally anything I'm thinking, I just pop it in here. So maybe underlying feelings of like how the day went, what I could have done better, more like reflection, because I guess the goal of it is, for me at least, to get everything out of my head. So like just kind of vent anything that I feel like just those weird thoughts that are lingering around, get them out. Oftentimes I'll read it back and be like, that's a bit ridiculous, or I'll be like, why was I stressing about that, or whatever it is, and then I feel better about it. It's out of my head, it's gone. And then hopefully you just become a better person by it, because you know, you're working on yourself, I guess. You are aware of things you could have done better, what maybe ways I could have gone about the day a bit better and organized the time, whatever it is. And another thing I do in terms of cues is just think, what am I grateful for? This is like very, very useful to do this exercise, but you have to do it properly. So you don't just think like health, whatever, and just randomly type shit. I'm typing stuff on here, by the way, that's why. You have to really think about it and mean it. Otherwise, in my opinion, it doesn't mean shit. It doesn't do anything. So I try to think about the things that I'm genuinely like happy and grateful for and try to feel it, and I just write that down. The easiest thing to do if you want to start a journal is just think, what is some good things you've got today? Or what are you kind of, you know, you can find something. If you can't find one thing that's going well for you, sorry, you just, I have nothing for you. This is like, that's you need Dr. Phil or Oprah for that maybe. But it's just that's above my pay grade here. But I just try to think of a couple of things that are going well. If you can write 10 things that are like, that you're grateful for, you're genuinely happy for. And then I feel that the next day. So I will wake up in a better mood and I'll kind of remember those things. It's relatively fresh. So I'll do journal writing for sometimes 5 minutes, sometimes 10, 15. I've got here a document of 40,000 words. This is like the crazy person's manuscript. I have the document of 40,000 words going back, I think, since September maybe, and I tried to do it every night since. So it's been really good. Like literally, if I can get more people doing this and then less people thinking it's weird, that'd be awesome, because it's helped me a lot. And then another thing I'll do is just read. So I'll do that for like 10 minutes, and then I might plan my day roughly, like just briefly for the next day. Just a quick one of like things I want to do that are fresh in my head, and then I'll move on and I'll read for around 20 minutes just to get tired, fall asleep, and have nightmares. I just had to say, the last 3 nights, I fucking had nightmares. I'm perfectly fine, not stressed out at all, and I've had nightmares the past 3 nights. And the only thing I can say is I got a new pillow. I don't know if that's doing it. Is that doing it? I don't know, but I thought I'd just put it out there just in case. Anyway, moving on. Now, these are the habits that I want to develop, starting today. Now, one thing I'm not gonna do anymore is check my phone until I'm out of the shower, done my morning routine, and got my day planned, okay? Let me just dry myself real quick. That's gonna have to do. So one thing I noticed with me, right, is if I get up and check my phone in the morning, my mind is in this weird state. It's kind of asleep, it's half awake, and anything can completely derail my day if it's not positive, right? So what I see first thing will affect my mood and then how I feel after that. So there's been days when it's completely ruined me because I read an email of something that I had to do. If I read that email at 10 a.m. or whatever, I'd be like, oh yeah, cool. But I read it in the morning, I overthink, my brain goes down this crazy trajectory, and I'm like, what the hell? It becomes important when it's not. And similarly, if I get a negative comment or something that's kind of like bad news, my brain will blow it out of proportion and it becomes really important and bad. So basically, long story short, your brain's in this weird malleable state in the morning when you're not quite awake yet, and it's kind of like half asleep, and you'll just interpret things differently. So one thing I noticed with that is that if I get something that's maybe important, or that I have to do, or that's negative, or that's not, my mind will just run with it, and it'll really destroy my mood for the day. Well, it can. So one thing I'm gonna do now is not, and I've started doing this and it's amazing, not look at my phone and not respond and react to it until I am up. I've done my morning routine, as you guys saw, it's quite lengthy, and then that way I'm actually awake, and I've started the day on my own terms. So I've started the day in a good mood because I have no reason not to. I've started the day how I want to, writing down the things that I'm gonna do. I've read something, I might have written a little gratitude list and thought about the things that I'm grateful for. I'm in a good mood in the morning. Then I get my phone, I catch up on messages, I look at what's been going on, see the things that I've got to do, and I respond to them well. I'm not reacting and being all crazy. So that is actually really, really big, and I always underestimated this thing. I would always underestimate it, and I check my phone still in the morning because I just didn't think it mattered. But really, it does, especially for me at least. Okay, next habit. Now the next habit I want to develop is to stretch at least 3 times a week. I am so not flexible. Unflexible, inflexible. This is how flexible I am. So I figured if I can do it at least 3 to 4 times a week, it will just I'll feel more athletic and feel more like an actual fitness person instead of a blocky square SpongeBob bodybuilder with not a lot of muscle mass. Now my next little habit slash goal is to reduce my screen time by around 20%. So this might be mind blowing, I don't know. This is my screen time. I spend daily average 5 hours. So 4 hours and 52 minutes, and that's actually down 14% because I'm already trying. Daily average, 4 hours, 50 minutes a day. On average, I pick up my phone every day 170 times. Notifications, 243 daily a day. That's crazy. I'm that distracted from this. What about last week? Last week, I picked up my phone 340 times a day, and my average was 5 hours and 15 minutes of screen time. That's ridiculous. Think about what I could be doing with that time. Especially if you're just like comparing yourself. For me, I mean, a lot of these ones that I want to develop is to do with phones, screens, social media, all that stuff, because it's probably one area of my life that struggles a little bit because it's my job. The balance is really hard to get. So I feel like for me to get a lot out of developing new habits, it's going to be to do with minimizing screen time, social media, comparing myself, all that stuff, which I think you guys can take home too. Now the next habit I want to develop is to schedule in daily downtime. In my case, a piano. Now I'm trying to play guitar every day, for most days at least, for just a little bit of time to myself. It's one thing that I stopped doing. I've done it since I was a young child, but I've stopped doing it because I just got lazy really. So it's one thing that calms me down because it's a little bit creative, and I don't go on my phone, don't do any of that stuff. And I feel like that's just better for my overall productivity and also just like general peace of mind and well-being, because everybody I think is overstressed because they're just not having any downtime. So I don't mean watching Netflix and stuff like that, because that to me, you're still thinking, you're still on your phone, you're still distracted. Something creative and different. So if it wasn't this for me, it might be reading, or it might be learning a new skill or something else, just to kind of use my mind other than watching Netflix or going on social media and being distracted by stupid shit that doesn't even matter. And it's important that you do schedule it in my opinion, because if you don't schedule it in, you just will never do it. So for me, I'm gonna say, okay, 5 p.m. every day, this is what's happening, and then I'll come down and I'll do it, no questions asked. So if there's a habit you want to build, you need to schedule a time for it specifically. The more specific, the better. Now the final habit that I want to develop is to be more present in just everyday moments. Now I know this sounds like super cliche and like, you know, the hippiest stuff, but it's actually really true, and it's something that I need to work on a lot because I have this tendency to create problems where they don't really exist. Overthink things, really always look forward to something and try and get through this bit of work, get through that. And as a result, I'm constantly like in this state of like just stress and trying to get through something or just get something done instead of actually enjoying what I've got. So one thing I'm trying to do is just literally enjoy the little things, no matter what I'm doing, even if it seems like it's a bit annoying or whatever, just trying to really be as in the moment, as present as I possibly can. One thing me and Joel always say is every time I'm doing the dishes, like I'll chuck some music on, instead of trying to just pump it out, I'll actually just try and enjoy it. But we always just take the piss. So every time I'm doing the dishes, he just goes, enjoy. And so and it actually helps. And I'm doing it, I'm trying to do it. That's one thing I've actually started doing. And I'm just trying to constantly remind myself, and hopefully it just drums it in so that it's kind of second nature. But that is pretty much it for this video, guys. They're the 5 habits that I'm gonna maintain, and they're the 5 habits that I'm going to try and develop. Now, I'd be curious to see, like, you guys, comment below what kind of habits you want to develop or something that's actually really helped you. For me, I would say the reading in cold showers has been like, I'm loving that. That's one thing I'd recommend to people. So if you have any recommendations of habits that you're doing currently that you'd like me to try, and also, like I said in the beginning, you guys can purchase my 12-week transformation challenge, participate in that, hopefully win. Not all of you, it doesn't work like that, but one of you will win, and I'll fly you down to here. You can come here, train here, pat bear, do all that kind of stuff. Worst case, you will just make a sick transformation and develop even better habits. So that is it for me, guys. I've got nothing left for you, and you definitely know what to do. Stay massive and enjoy.
I got a fresh cut in the denims, all these sexy jeans in my section, and slide into your DMs in the PM and the AM, then I slide into your feelings when you see just what I'm saying.